Alright, in this video we're gonna go through some revision notes for Biology 0610, Cambridge IGCSE for Topic 2, Cells and Their Organization. So let's begin. First we're gonna talk about animal and plant cells. Before we talk about animal and plant cells, let's understand what is a cell. A cell is the basic unit that makes up all living organisms. So all living organisms are made up of cells. This is the basic unit in all living organisms. Now let's go through some main features of all animal cells and all plant cells. Some main features of all animal cells is that they are multicellular. They are not unicellular, multicellular. Multi means more than one cell. They contain a nucleus with a cell membrane. They do not have chloroplast, so they are unable to carry out photosynthesis. Since they don't have chloroplasts, it means they don't have chlorophyll, so they cannot carry out photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which autotrophic plants make their food. All animal cells feed on organic substances made by other living things, and organisms that feed on organic substances made by other living things are heterotrophic. They store carbohydrates as glycogen. They have nervous coordination, and they are able to move from place to place. Here I've drawn a diagram of an animal cell just to label the parts. This is the glycogen, which carbohydrates are converted into. This is the mitochondria, like the powerhouse of the cell. This is rough endoplasmic reticulum because the ribosomes are attached. This is the nucleus. This is the cell membrane. This is a vacuole, and this is the cytoplasm, the liquid inside, where all the organelles are flowing. Now let's go through some main features in all plant cells. All plant cells are also multicellular. They have more than one cell. They contain a nucleus with a cell membrane. They have a cellulose cell wall made of cellulose. They contain chloroplast, which means that they are able to carry out photosynthesis because chloroplast contains chlorophyll, and chlorophyll absorbs light energy or solar energy and converts it into chemical energy for photosynthesis by using water and carbon dioxide as the raw materials to produce glucose and oxygen. The balanced equation for photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 6H2O. Using light, you get C6H12O6 plus 6O2. So plants use carbon dioxide and water as raw materials, then use light energy to convert it into glucose and oxygen. Take in carbon dioxide, excrete oxygen in photosynthesis. They feed by photosynthesis, which means they're autotrophic. They store carbohydrates as starch or sucrose, and they do not have nervous coordination, unlike animal cells that do have nervous coordination. Here I've tried to draw a simple diagram of a plant cell. This is the cellulose cell wall. This is the cell membrane. This is the nucleus. This is the chloroplast, large vacuole, rough endoplasmic reticulum again because ribosomes are attached, and this is the mitochondria, and this is the cytoplasm, the liquid inside, where all the organelles are flowing. Alright, now let's go through some cell structures that are present in both animal cells and plant cells. So these are like the common structures that are present in both. The first one is nucleus. Nucleus contains genetic material and DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, which controls the activities of the cell. It's like the brain of the cell. Second is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a gel-like substance composed of water. It's where all the organelles are flowing, and it supports all the internal structures. It's the site of chemical reactions, including anaerobic respiration. Most chemical reactions occur in the cytoplasm. Cell membrane, this is the third one. Cell membrane holds the cell together. It separates the inside of the cell from the outside of the cell, and it controls which substances enter and leave the cell. So to summarize, the cell membrane technically just controls the movement of particles in and out of the cell, and the cell membrane actually controls the movement of particles by three methods. The first one is diffusion. The second one is active transport. And the third one is phagocytosis. We'll learn about diffusion and active transport in chapter 3. And we'll learn about phagocytosis in chapter 9, circulatory system, in white blood cells. Phagocytes carry out phagocytosis. Alright, the fourth one is ribosomes. Ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis, and they are found in the cytoplasm. Usually they're attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, which means they're rough. If they're not attached, it means they're smooth. And last but not least is mitochondria. Mitochondria is the site of chemical reactions involved in anaerobic respiration, and mitochondria plays a huge role in the metabolism of the cell because it's carrying out many different reactions that have a high number of mitochondria than cells with fewer reactions taking place. So cells that have a high number of reactions taking place have a high number of mitochondria, and cells that have a low number of reactions taking place have a low number of mitochondria. It is directly proportional. Now let's take some structures that are found only in plant cells. The first one is cell wall. Cell wall is made of cellulose in plant cells. It gives the cell extra support and it defines its shape. Chloroplast. Chloroplast contains green chlorophyll pigments. This green chlorophyll pigments gives the plant its green color. The job of chlorophyll is to absorb light energy and the enzymes needed for photosynthesis. The third one is permanent vacuole. Permanent vacuole contains a cell sap, a solution of sugars and salts dissolved in water, used for the storage of certain materials, and it also helps support the shape of the cell. And with that, we are done with animal and plant cells. Now let's move to bacterial cells. Let's take some main features of bacterial cells. These cells are quite different from animal and plant cells. Main features of bacterial cells is the first one, they are single-celled organisms. So they are unicellular, not multicellular like plants and animals. They have a peptide to glycan cell wall, not cellulose. Like plants have cellulose. Animals, of course, have no cell wall. And bacterial cells have peptide to glycan cell wall. They contain cell membrane, cytoplasm, and ribosomes. They contain plasmids. Plasmids are circular small rings of DNA floating in cytoplasm. They look something like this. Some bacteria contain flagellum or flagella. It's a long, thin, whip-like tail from the movement. And bacterial cells lack a nucleus, mitochondria, and other membrane-bound organelles. Here are two examples of bacteria in our syllabus. The first one is lactobacillus. It's like a rod-shaped bacteria used in yogurt production. And the second one is pneumococcus. It's sphere-shaped. It causes pneumonia. Here I've tried to draw a bacterial cell structure. This is the circular DNA loop. These are the plasmids, ribosomes. Since they are not attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, these are smooth. They have flagella to swim around, cytoplasm, peptide to glycan cell wall, not cellulose. And of course, nucleus is absent and other membrane-bound organelles. like mitochondria. Now here are some common cell structures and functions. The first one is mitochondria. Mitochondria are organelles found throughout the cytoplasm. They are like the powerhouses that provide a large surface area of the reactions of anaerobic respiration to release energy. Ribosomes, these are tiny structures that can be either rough endoplasmic reticulum, means they're attached to the ER, or smooth endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes not attached to ER. ER refers to endoplasmic reticulum. The third one is vesicles. These are small circular structures found moving throughout cytoplasm. Alright, now let's understand a new topic, specialized cells. So the three cells we took above, animal cell, plant cell, and bacterial cell, these are all common cells, but they're not specialized cells. Specialized cells are cells that have developed certain characteristics to perform particular functions. So a specific cell for a specific function only. These cells undergo specialization by differentiation. Differentiation is a process by which cells develop the structure and characteristics needed to carry out their functions. We're going to take specialized cells in animals and plants. First, animals. So we're going to take this cell, its function, and its adaptation. What is the cell? What is the main function of the cell? What is the main job of the cell? And how this cell is adapted to perform this function. The first one in animal cells is ciliated cell. The function of ciliated cell is movement of mucus in the trachea and bronchi. Adaptations is it contains hair-like structures called cilia. These cilia beat the mucus and trapped particles up to the throat. The second one is nerve cell. The function of nerve cell is conduction of impulses, nervous impulses. It has a lot of adaptations. The first one is it's long. So nerves can run to and from different parts of the body to the central nervous system. It has extensions and branches, so it can communicate with other nerve cells, muscles, and glands. And it's covered with a fatty sheath. This provides insulation to the nerve cell and it speeds up the nerve impulse reactions. The third one is a very common one, RBCs, red blood cells. The main function of red blood cells is transportation of oxygen, O2. And adaptations of the red blood cell is, first of all, they have a biconcave disc shape or a donut shape to increase the surface area for movement of diffusion of oxygen. It contains hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a pigment produced by Fe, iron, which joins with oxygen to transport it. It contains no nucleus to increase the amount of space available for hemoglobin inside the cell and also to increase the rate of diffusion of oxygen. The fourth one is sperm cell. The main function of sperm cell is reproduction. Adaptations of the sperm cell, the first one is the head contains genetic material for fertilization in a haploid nucleus. Haploid nucleus is a nucleus that contains half the number of chromosomes. So the total number of chromosomes inside a human body is 48. A haploid nucleus contains half the number of chromosomes, 48 over 2. Because this combines with another cell containing half the number of chromosomes, which is the egg cell, to give a full number of chromosomes for a human body. The second adaptation is that the acrosome in the head contains digestive enzymes, so the sperm can penetrate an egg. The sperm structure, the head is like pointed from the top, and the egg is circular. So this part contains digestive enzymes to penetrate the egg. The mid piece is packed with mitochondria to release energy to swim and fertilize the egg. Of course, the sperm cell needs energy to swim all the way to the egg and penetrate it to fertilize the egg. The tail enables the sperm to swim. The last one is the egg cell, also known as the ovum. The function is also reproduction. Adaptations, it contains a lot of cytoplasm, which has nutrients for the growth of an early embryo. It also has a haplonucleus, half number of chromosomes, so it combines with the sperm cell with also half number of chromosomes to produce full number of chromosomes for fertilization. The cell membrane changes after fertilization, so no more sperm can enter. Here are the diagrams of each cell. The first one is the ciliated cell. Ciliated cell contains a cell membrane, nucleus, and mitochondria. This is the mucus, and these are the cilia, hair-like structures, which beat the mucus outside the throat. The second one is red blood cells. Red blood cells, they contain hemoglobin, the red pigment. They have a biconcave donut shape to provide large surface area for hemoglobin and diffusion of oxygen. They have cell membrane, no cell wall, because they're animal cells. Third is the egg cell. Egg cell or ovum. It contains mitochondria. It contains a lot of cytoplasm for fertilization and nutrients for the embryo. It contains follicle cells, nucleus, yolk droplets, and zona pellucida. The next one is the sperm cell. The sperm cell, the first part is the acrosome. This is the part that contains digestive enzymes to penetrate the egg. This is the cell membrane, nucleus, and midpiece is packed with mitochondria to provide energy for the cell to swim to the egg and penetrate the egg. It contains flagella to swim. Next is a nerve cell. The nerve cell, this is the cell body. It contains nucleus, cell membrane, ribosomes. Alright, this is the fatty sheath to provide insulation. And it contains branches to reach different cells, and it's long to send impulses throughout the body. And that is all about specialized animal cells. Now let's talk about specialized plant cells. Example of specialized plant cell, the first one is root hair cell. Root hair cell, we're going to study in detail about this one in chapter 8 when we compare between root hair cells, xylem, and phloems. But this is just like a summary about it. The main function is absorption of water and mineral ions from soil. Adaptations of the root hair cell, to increase the surface area of cell to ensure maximum absorption of water and mineral ions. The walls are thin to ensure water moves through quickly and no chloroplast is present, because it doesn't carry out photosynthesis. There's no photosynthesis. Just absorption of water and mineral ions. That's it. Second one is xylem vessel. Xylem vessel, the function is conduction of water through the plant and support the plant. The xylem vessel absorbs and transports water and mineral ions. Adaptations, it has no top and bottom walls between the xylem vessels, so it can provide a continuous column of water running through. The cells are dead without organelles or cytoplasm to allow free passage of water. Walls become thickened with a substance called lignin. This helps support the plant. The last one is the palisade mesophyll cell. The palisade mesophyll cell's main function is photosynthesis. It's column shaped to maximize absorption of sunlight, and it contains a huge number of chloroplasts for maximum photosynthesis. This is the structure of a xylem vessel. As you can see, it contains no top and no bottom walls to provide a continuous column of water flow. The walls are thickened with lignin to help support the plants, and it contains no organelles inside to maximize the flow of water. This is a short fact to remember that xylem means tissue, xylem vessel means cells, and xylem vessels means tissue. The next one is the palisade mesophyll cell. It's column shaped to maximize absorption of sunlight, and it contains a huge number of chloroplasts, as you can see, to maximize photosynthesis. Next is root hair cell. Root hair cell has large surface area to maximize absorption of water. It contains a thin cell membrane to allow water and mineral ions to pass through in and out easily. And that is it for all specialized cell in plants and animals. Producing new cells. New cells can either be produced by mitosis or meiosis. Mitosis is for growth and tissue repair and occurs in the whole body. Meiosis is for gamete production, sperm plus egg, and occurs in testicles and ovaries. Testicles in males, ovaries in females. Cells grow and divide over and over again to help your body grow plus repair itself. Hence, new cells are produced by division of existing cells. This is the level of organism organization. First is the cell, basic functional and structural unit in living organisms. Cells combine to form a tissue. Tissue is a group of cells performing a similar function. A tissue combines to perform an organ. Groups of tissues performing specific functions, and organs combine to form an organ system. Group of organs performing a related body function. These are some specialized animal tissues, but we're not going to discuss these because this is not important for the new syllabus for chapter 2 or topic 2. We'll just take this example here. Epithelial cells and smooth muscle cells are specialized cells. Epithelial cells combine together to form epithelial tissue. Smooth muscle cells combine together to form smooth muscle tissue, this one epithelial tissue. And epithelial tissue and smooth muscle tissue are two tissues that combine together to give the organ intestine. We'll study about this in chapter 7 about human nutrition. Specialized plant tissues, again, we're going to skip this part. We're not going to discuss it because in the new syllabus, this is not important. Though you can read this if you want for general information. These are some general examples of the organ systems, the organs in the organ systems, and the tissues in these organ systems. So shoot system and root system. Shoot and root systems are in plants. Okay. The organism shoot system is leaf, stem, flower, and fruit. Tissues example is epidermis, mesophyll, xylem, and phloem. Xylem for transportation of water and mineral ions, phloem for translocation of amino acids and sucrose. Root system organs is root and tuber. Examples is xylem, phloem, and ground tissue. The rest of these systems are all in mammals or animals. First one is the digestive system. Organs in the digestive system is esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Tissues in the digestive system is muscle tissue, connective tissue, nerve tissue, and epithelial tissue. In the circulatory system, we have heart, veins, and arteries. The tissues present in the circulatory system is muscle tissue, connective tissue, nerve tissue, and epithelial tissue. In the immune system, we have thymus and spleen. Tissues present are bone marrow. Respiratory system, we have trachea, bronchi, and lungs. Tissues present is connective muscle and epithelial. In the excretory system, we have liver, kidney, skin, and lungs. Tissues present is muscle, connective, epithelial, and nerve. In the nervous system, we have brain, spinal cord. Tissues present in the nervous system is nervous tissue. Reproductive system, we have ovary, cervix, uterus, vagina, testis, and penis. Tissues present is muscle, connective, nervous, and erectile. Alright. Now we are done with all the theoretical part regarding chapter 2. The last part is for paper 6 and paper 4. This will usually come in calculation questions, mostly in paper 6 regarding graphing questions, especially in the new syllabus. Magnification. This comes in all paper 6 questions, and it's very important to remember the formula of magnification and the conversion units. So magnification, formula of magnification is equal to image size divided by actual size. Image size is the size of your drawing, and actual size is the size that is given. So usually they're gonna ask you to draw a drawing. Let's say they ask you to draw a drawing of an animal cell. So you'll have to make a large drawing of an animal cell. We said it contains a nucleus, mitochondria, rough endoplasmic reticulum, cytoplasm, cell membrane, and so on. Large drawing. The size of this drawing, you'll have to measure it by scale. The size of this drawing is the image drawing or image size, and the size they give you is the actual size. The size you have to calculate is the magnification. Magnification is usually written as x. So if an object has, or if a drawing has 50 magnification size, it will be written as 50x. To calculate image size, if you're given actual and magnification, image size is equal to actual times magnification, and actual is equal to image size divided by magnification, and magnification is equal to image size divided by actual size.